This is Share the Vision, presented by the Resource Center, a discussion of the programs and services of the Resource Center and about issues related to individuals with disabilities. Today we do our annual preview doubleheader for the Sprout Film Festival coming this year, September 18th, and Step Up for Autism, September 21st. Joining me on Share the Vision today, Kevin Anderson, Assistant Director of Employment and Community-Based Services here at the Resource Center, Beth Germain, Support Options Administrator, Vicki Bardo, Development and Events Manager, and Steve Watterson, the Community Relations Director for the Resource Center. Steve, thanks for putting together this show for us once again this year.
Thanks for coming over to tape this show, Dennis.
This has become sort of an annual 1-2 doubleheader event with the Sprout Film Festival and Step Up for Autism. Really gives the community an opportunity to focus on several different aspects of what the Resource Center is all about.
Yeah, two big events coming up next week, the Sprout Film Festival on Wednesday the 18th, and then Step Up for Autism on Saturday the 21st. Usually they're only one day apart, and this year we've got a couple-day spread, so I don't know if that means anything, but it's something different.
You anticipated the first question that I was going to ask of Kevin Anderson and Beth Germain as we take up the Sprout Film Festival first. Let me welcome back Kevin Anderson to the microphone. Kevin, nice to have you on the air once again.
Dennis, good to see you as always.
And Beth Germain, welcome back as well.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Sprout has traditionally occurred on a Friday. This year it is a Wednesday at the Reg Lene Center for the Arts, so we just want to point that out with emphasis to people. Was it just kind of coincidental that the schedule changed, or did you do this purposefully?
We actually put a lot of thought into it, and we found that we had a lot of scheduling conflicts on Friday nights with football games, and we wanted to give the opportunity for more people to experience Sprout. And we felt that Wednesday would be good. Wednesday, if you're not aware of that, at the Reg is their typical movie night, along with Saturdays, and we felt that that would be a really good fit, and the Reg was kind enough to let us go ahead and kind of move into their space a little bit, if you will.
So Wednesday night, the 18th of September, 7 p.m., the movies at the Reg Lene Center for the Arts are always affordable. This one is even more affordable.
Yes, it's free.
That's as affordable as one can get.
That's right.
So I think thanks to whoever makes it possible for the festival to go on without cost or admission charge to the public, that is a very nice gesture on behalf of someone.
Yes, each year for the past 4 years now, we've asked for that grant from Filling the Gap, which is a sister company of the Resource Center, and they have generously given us money to be able to, again, give this gift to the community, which we feel is very important.
So you want the community to come and watch these movies at no cost, and there's more than one, but let us dig into the heart of what the Sprout Film Festival is all about, why you are offering this in Jamestown, and encouraging people from all walks of life and all backgrounds to come. And I asked a lot of questions there, Beth and or Kevin, but feel free to pick any one of them, either one of you, and go right ahead.
I think the film festival really offers the opportunity to see people with disabilities as people, and people who have the same desires as people who don't have disabilities, and they're able to, this film festival really showcases people living and showcases them kind of experiencing life and having a good time while doing it.
How many films this year will be shown?
13.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yep, we have 2 or 3 that are 13 minutes, and most of them are between 2 and 6 minutes long.
So you've already chosen the ones that are going to be in this year's festival. Could you give us, either Kevin or Beth, just a little bit of a preview?
Sure. As this is our 5th year of putting on the Sprout Film Festival, we decided to do a little bit of best of. So we've actually gone back to the 4 previous years and picked out some of the crowd favorites, and we wanted to incorporate those into this year's festival to make it a little bit more momentous. And we realized that not everybody has made it to every year's film festival, so some of those really good films that people didn't get to enjoy we'll be able to showcase again. So it's about a 50-50 mix as far as films that have previously been viewed, along with some new features. Some of the repeats that I think people will remember, one of the, I think a crowd favorite was The Interviewer, which is an Australian film, which was really fun. Ingrid's Big Jump is another one that definitely gets head nods, and people wanted to see that. And then I Love Grilled Cheese and Bumblebees were a couple of those favorites. So we pulled those back. And then the new films that we have this year, I think, are just really upbeat. As Beth said, people living their lives the way they want to live them. There's one called Best Friends, which features two kids who have both just been moved with their families from New York to California, and how they kind of meet each other as they're adopting dogs, and they've formed this friendship, which is really pretty neat. And then J-Mac is an incredible young man who's got some really good talent as a dancer, and I think that will be enjoyable for people as well.
And again, there is a common thread. Beth talked about this, addressed it as we first started this conversation. There is a common theme or thread that runs throughout all of the wide variety of movies that Kevin just described to us.
Yeah, they're all about people and relationships and talents and passions and people just expressing them differently, and those people being acknowledged and giving us a glimpse into their life to share that. And it's quite an honor, I think.
And all of them feature persons with intellectual or physical or some kinds of disability.
Correct.
Recount for us, Beth and or Kevin, the origin of Sprout Films for a moment, for those who do not know the history of this extraordinary festival.
Sure. The festival started approximately, I guess it's actually probably getting close to 20 years ago, in New York. A gentleman by the name of Anthony DeSalvo kind of came up with the brainchild. And New York actually used to do it was a 3-day event in the city, and they have since stopped doing the festival in New York, but they continue to do a traveling film festival. So organizations like ourselves will put on a film festival. And actually, I don't know the number that he does across the country. It's definitely 50-plus film festivals throughout the year, but it's from coast to coast. So really neat way to, again, bring films to the area that are being seen throughout the country.
Steve Watterson, who helps host this program, issued a news release quoting you, Beth Germain, as saying, "There will be 2 music videos that will make people want to dance in their seats." I was just curious if you wanted to talk about one or the other of them.
Well, they're both pretty happy. One is about a group of people who have their own, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like a
Rock group band.
A band, but it's like a video is what I'm thinking of. And it's just kind of really a cool thing because they're all kind of expressing themselves in a really fun way. It's just a fun thing to watch. It's a feel good little feature.
And these are all professionally done, I mean, to high quality? These are not like watching somebody's home videos.
Correct.
Absolutely. No, all of the films that are selected for Sprout are juried by the Sprout organization, so they have to submit their entry, and then Sprout will look at those, and I'm sure, I don't know what their criteria is, but looking for quality of film and the message that's being delivered.
Would it be fair to say that you present Sprout as entertainment with a purpose?
I think so. And again, I think we've kind of touched on that. It's really just letting people see that people with developmental disabilities are just people, just like the rest of us. And they all have aspirations and hopes, and they achieve some pretty cool things. A lot of the films that we're featuring, again, like Ingrid's Big Jump, here's somebody who has Down syndrome and wants to basically go parachuting, parasailing. And she and her support group make it happen. And it's finding ways for people to continue to live their lives, which I don't think that we as a community always value or understand that that's the long-term desire.
Aspiration, putting together a way to meet those aspirations is something that if people have the fortitude, the chutzpah to do it, it can be universal. It doesn't matter whether you're a person with disabilities or not, is what I hear you saying to me.
Absolutely.
Right. It just occurred to me to ask, do you suppose that somewhere within the realm of the Resource Center there are some Sprout films yet to be made?
I think absolutely. The first year that we had Sprout, Anthony was actually here for the festival, and he put a challenge out to the audience. One, asking us to grow the audience, and 2 was to have anybody who wanted to make a film come out and make one. And we actually had, I think it was 7 or 8 individuals who got together and made a film, and we featured that as our opening film the second year. And I often have a couple of people that come up and say, I'm going to make a film, and that hasn't happened yet because there's a lot that goes into making a film. But absolutely, I think there's a lot of great stories from people that we support in the area that would make a great film.
The other thing that I want to mention before we break off this segment of the show and to go to Steve Watterson and Vicki Bardo for Step Up for Autism is congratulations on a beautiful shirt. You've done shirts for the Sprout Film Festival this year, and Kevin, you brought one in here and put it down in front of me. Is this for me to look at, or should I wear it?
That's for you to wear with pride.
It is a beautiful emerald green shirt, you say, and it's just very tastefully done.
You know, Anthony actually, I don't know if Anthony personally does the designs, but Sprout actually comes out with a design every year, and we are able to utilize that. And they're really cool designs, and the design on the shirt incorporates it into everything that we do. So the program, the posters have the same theme. So, yeah, I'm really pleased with the way the shirts turned out this year.
I'm going to allow you or Beth, one or the other of you, to change places with Steve Watterson for a moment so that we can pick up the discussion of Step Up for Autism, which will be next year. You're listening to Share the Vision. This program comes to you on a regular basis from the Resource Center. Today on this show, we are doing two events. One of them is the Sprout Film Festival. We just concluded our general discussion on that on September 18th. Just a few days later, on the 21st, it is the annual Step Up for Autism events here at the Resource Center's administrative headquarters, from which we broadcast today on Dunham Avenue, just outside Celeron. And Steve, welcome back to the show.
Well, I never really went away.
Well, you went away in the listeners' minds because you were...
Hi, listeners.
Thank you to all the listeners of this program, connected with the Resource Center and others in the community. We appreciate your interest in what happens in this place and in all the activities and the energy put forth into the community by the Resource Center. So, Steve Watterson and Vicki Bardo, just set the stage, remind our listeners of what Step Up for Autism is all about.
Well, this is our 10th annual Step Up for Autism event.
Wow.
It's going to be held on Saturday, September 21st, right here at 200 Dunham Avenue. Registration will begin at 9 a.m., and the walk will take off at 10 a.m., and we're going to take a lovely stroll down to the Celeron Park, where we turn around and come back up, and we enjoy refreshments, and we also have some other things in store for folks who attend the event.
When do things get underway? And aside from the walk, there are some other associated events, so kind of fill in the rest of the calendar right for that morning.
Okay. We take our walk down to the lake, and then we also have a Chinese auction, which will be available, and that will probably open at 9 a.m. as well and go until noon. And then we have our ever-popular sweets auction, which really is a lot of fun. It's spirited at times, and people are really bidding up the cakes and sweets and all kinds of sweet confections that are donated. And it's a lot of fun, and we have this year 3 auctioneers that are somewhat of a celebrity within the Resource Center. We have Steve Watterson as one of them, Mark Gashgarian, and our very own Marcos Antonio Figueroa.
Wow.
So I think this will be quite the event to attend, and they're saying they're not competitive, but believe me, these 3 fellas are competing for the top dollar raised for the sweets.
Talk about the dream.
It's a lot of fun. It's just so much
auctioneers,
fun. Yeah, and we're working on those details right now, getting all of our sweets donated and secured and picked up and all of that. But the other thing that we have some face painting by some of our staff over here at the Resource Center and at Filling the Gap, which the kids always enjoy that. We also will have informational tables provided by the Resource Center. The clinics and children's services and so forth will have information out, as well as we'll have a table full of trinkets that you can buy with the puzzle piece, which is the emblem for autism.
Why do you do an event like Step Up for Autism?
This event was born out of the conversation with some parents who wanted to raise money for the Success Program, which is providing some services to adolescents and to younger children. And they needed some help. So they came to the Resource Center, and one thing led to another. And 10 years later, here we are still doing the Step Up for Autism event with the support of many staff and community folks who also sit on the planning committee.
And the events, the fundraising that you do here flows to the Success Program still?
Yes, it does.
And what kind of success do you look for from the Success Program?
The Success Program, actually, Kevin could probably jump in and tell us a lot about the Success Program.
Kevin
before I
could,
start speaking.
definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is again.
He's
Kevin
back.
Anderson.
Success is a social skills program that is designed to help children and young adults with autism learn social skills and to help them integrate into the daily world a little bit better. A lot of people who have autism have a really hard time with acclimating to the environment around them, and they also sometimes find it very difficult to talk to other people. And so the social skills program is really designed to help them kind of navigate those cues and what kind of things that it could help them integrate into their community a little bit better.
So this is something that they kind of meet together on a regular basis and do, or events kind of thing?
Each Success program it's basically a 5-week course, if you will. It's not really, there's no homework and that type of stuff, but we follow a curriculum. And it's great because they come in and they'll watch a video talking about whatever discussion they're going to have, whether it's communicating at school or how to interact with other kids in the playground. And then they usually go into some form of a art program. And throughout the 2 hours that they're together once a week for 5 weeks, they're accumulating tokens. So if they're picking up on something or they're displaying appropriate behavior, the staff that's working with them give them tokens. And at the end of each session, they can actually turn their tokens in for little prizes, if you will. But it's really a great program, and it gives the kids an opportunity to interact with each other, and it really, the comments that we've had from some parents have been pretty incredible. In fact, one of the parents that really started this, and her son is still heavily involved with the Step Up for Autism, often comments that if it wasn't for Success, she doesn't know that her son would be where he is today. So it's kind of a cool.
And this is a program for which there's not federal grants or state grants or anything like that. This is something that you must raise money for locally in order to ensure its continuance.
Correct. And we do get a small amount of funding through Family Support Services, which is kind of a grant that comes out of New York State, but to cover all of our costs and to cover the supplies that we need and all that stuff, definitely Step Up helps us out with that.
I also believe that before Step Up for Autism, a lot of these parents were traveling out of state to receive such services. So out of that came this event, and we're able to have these young people stay locally and have a program that is so worthwhile.
I want to just spend a moment talking about autism and what it is, because we discuss it in our culture all the time. Someone's autistic, and you hear about this, this percentage of children are on the spectrum is often the autism spectrum. But what is it, and how does it fit into the work of the Resource Center?
I'm not a clinician, and so to really answer that, and it's really hard to define autism.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I was anticipating you would say that, but people do ask.
No, and because as you use the word spectrum, and people are on the spectrum, and so autism can affect one person just by really having a lot of OCD and really being focused on one particular thing. And other than that small thing, you would never know that they have autism. Other individuals who have autism, it brings with it some major behavioral issues. Some people are nonverbal. So it's really hard to define it. And again, that word spectrum is there for a reason, because it is so vast as far as the way that autism affects different people and different families. And I think going back to what Vicki said a little bit, the opportunity for the families to come together on this day, there's a lot of really good unity, and it gives families who have someone with autism an opportunity to, I think, make some friendships and to just have a chance to really celebrate their child who does have autism.
And autism is a part of what you focus on here at the Resource Center, because you have demonstrated yourselves through the Success Program and other means here that this kind of focus can improve the quality of life for people who are on the spectrum and their families and others who are close to them as well.
Well, that, and autism is a developmental disability, so it certainly falls within the range of the center's main mission of supporting people with disabilities and their families.
I've asked these sort of difficult questions today because raising awareness is one of the things. You have a beautiful logo that you've used, I think, every year for Step Up for Autism that talks about creating friendships and embracing acceptance, and raising awareness. And I wanted to just do a little bit of the latter there for a moment on this program to help people understand how it fits into what you do here and why it's important that even if they don't have someone on the spectrum, that they might come and learn that day.
Yeah, we're hoping, and we get every year, a large turnout of not only people at the Resource Center, our employees and the folks with disabilities we support every day, people from the schools, just people from the community. I don't know what the current statistic is in terms of the prevalence of autism. Is it 1 in 88? Roughly?
I think it's actually a lot lower than that now.
68, I think, or something.
Yeah, the second number is lower.
I think probably everyone in this room and probably most of the people listening know somebody who has a family member or they themselves are somewhere on the spectrum. So there's an opportunity for people to come out and show their support. We're going to hope for nice weather that day. That's for the walk down to Lucille Ball Park. It's a 1.5 mile walk, like Vicki said, but it's up and back, so if people don't feel that they can do the entire 1.5 miles, they can just turn around and come back up Dunham Avenue. But we usually have a nice procession walking down the street, and people really enjoy taking part in this event.
And you do ask that people get pledges, or that's part of the fundraising.
Well, that'd be great. We want people to be there. So if people just want to come and walk, there's no charge to do that. They can come and do that. But if they want to pay the suggested $20 fee, they're going to get a T-shirt with this year's fabulous logo on it, and they'll get the hot dog lunch and know that they're supporting this fundraiser. We're also going to we typically have a donation jar set up so that folks who aren't able to contribute the $20 can get whatever contribution that they'd like.
And if there are sponsors or others in the community that have supported you to make this possible, I wanted to give you an opportunity just to say their name.
Okay. It would absolutely be Saxton Coker and FSC Systems and the Resource Center, Filling the Gap, and
UPMC
Chautauqua and Premier Consulting. Another big thing this year for us was the creation of this lovely logo by the Purina company up in Dunkirk. It was created by an employee named Barb Kern, and it's really quite an attractive logo, and it's a light bulb with puzzle pieces inside, and it looks like the light bulb is going off, and it says, always unique, totally interesting, sometimes mysterious. And we're very happy to have this as part of our logo. And the folks up at Purina had a shirt sale and gave us the proceeds of over quite a chunk of money. I will say that, and I'll say it. It's $1,000, so that was awesome. So we're happy to have them on board as one of our premier sponsors this year as well. And they're also going to be bringing down a crew of folks to walk in the event.
Always unique, totally interesting, sometimes mysterious. Of course, the first letter of each of those spells autism, which is obvious when you look at the nice graphic that she created. Might not have registered with the listeners as they heard this. And as you mentioned before, and I think you've made it abundantly clear why the puzzle piece is a logo or a part of something that is often used in conjunction with autism because of the puzzling issues that being on the spectrum can bring up for people.
That's right, and how all the puzzle pieces fit together with their community, with their family, with their friends. So it's all kind of a great symbol.
As a point of conclusion here, and we're getting close to the end of Share the Vision today, I just wanted to mention that you do have, in addition to a phone number, stepupforautism.com is your website, and you have a Facebook page and all of that. So if people want to know more about this after hearing this radio program today, they can go to any one of those sources.
Absolutely, or they can call me at 661-1477. Two more things that I want to quickly mention is that on September 18th, we are offering dinner and a movie. We're having our traditional Applebee's fundraiser, which is going to be 10% off your bill, coming back to the Step Up for Autism event, and we're encouraging folks to come to Applebee's, grab dinner, go see the wonderful films over at the Reg through the Sprout Film Festival. And the other thing is we've partnered up with the Safety Village, and they're going to be conducting a baby car seat safety check from 9 to 12. So we're encouraging folks who have small children and infants to come on down, make sure that their safety baby seat, and I don't even know if that's the correct term, I should know.
Car
seat, thank you very much. That their car seat is installed correctly for that child that they're carting around. And I should know that being a new grandmother, but I don't.
Yeah, I think someone from the Safety Village said that 3 out of 4 car seats are either incorrect for the child that uses them or they're not installed correctly. So you can come down to our Dunham building that day for Step Up for Autism between 9 and noon, and they will check out your safety seat and make sure that you're using it correctly.
And that's a startling number. It is the number of seats that are not used
Yeah.
properly. 9 to noon that day as one of the ingredients in Step Up for Autism. Vicki, I want to go back to dinner and a movie for the moment, Applebee's, and then the Reg Lene Center of the Arts on the 18th for the Sprout Film Festival. Do people need a ticket or coupon in order to ensure that some of the money from their dinner will flow to the Resource Center?
They will need a coupon, and they can certainly get one of those by calling me or checking on our website.
And if someone wanted to call you, for example, what number would they call?
661-1477, and we'll be happy to get some coupons in their hand.
That is Step Up for Autism. We need to conclude discussion of that for a moment and just go back to the Sprout Film Festival. And since Kevin still has a microphone there, I'll just let him repeat the essential details of this, only because we started out with that and it deserves restating. And you two have a website where people can get more information.
Absolutely. We do have through the resourcecenter.org. There is a link to the Sprout Film Festival. We have a Facebook page as well. But Wednesday, September 18th at 7 o'clock at the Reg, and we hope to see lots of people there.
Steve, we're almost out of time, but we'll push the clock a little bit here just for purposes of talking about anything else that you would want to. I know the Disability Awareness Awards are not that far away, and you're even looking forward to Toys for Tots, so anything you want to talk about.
Well, can I talk about autism then again?
Sure.
Okay. I was just happened to be watching the news this morning, and they had on that teenage climate champion from Scandinavia, Greta Thunberg, I think most people. And she was saying that she has Asperger's syndrome and is somewhere on the autism spectrum, and she describes that as her superpower. And because, if I understood her correctly, she was saying that she doesn't pick up on people's social cues, and so that does not cause her to get hung up in worrying about hurting people's feelings. She can just get straight to the point and make her case. So she at least defines her place on the spectrum as her superpower.
Well, and she's certainly used it very, very well. When you think about it, she's almost universally known, at least in many parts of the world, and just sailed across the ocean from Europe to New York City, and without making any carbon footprint or wave or whatever you would do on the ocean. But we better stop this for now because the time's gotten away from us. Always fun to be together with the four of you, and so enlightening and encouraging. So the Sprout Film Festival on the 18th of September, Step Up for Autism on the 21st. More information available through the Resource Center. And thank you all for sharing the vision today.
Thank you.